When some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver? You. Would you date a
If he
bus
owns
driver?
the bus, if he owns
No.
it, if he owns the bus,
See,
he
that's
owns
a
it.
problem. That's a problem. That's a problem
Okay.
because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society.
As usual, I gotta put some content on here. And what better to talk about than the Eboni K. Williams and Yana Van Zant, Would You Date a Bus Driver fiasco? First things first, I actually do like Eboni K. Williams. I've actually tweeted that I've thought that that woman is just like I like her intelligence and all that other stuff, and I like Ebony K. Williams. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was like even before when I saw her the first time I saw her was on State of the Culture with Joe Budden, and from then I was like, okay, she very smart and all that other stuff. So I actually do like I've called that woman my boo a couple of times. Yes, I know she's like 40 or some shit like that. With that being said, um, I was listening to Sergeant Willie P, and he was like, "That woman has a god complex," and I think, and then like listening to her on, the grill. I think that's what she's on right now. The grill. I know she's a former attorney and all that other jargon and all that stuff. Not saying that to downplay her list of accomplishments because that woman has accomplished a lot, but I'm just like going on with it. Um, a lot of people got at her because the whole thing about if he was the bus owner and all stuff. And now Sergeant Willie Pete has a thing where he was like, "We got to stop convincing people to date down." And my whole thing is, and not really disagreeing with Sergeant Willie Pete, but also saying like, what is dating now? It's like, what is dating now? Because like, I feel like dating down only applies to women. Men date down all the fucking time. Like we obviously we don't pick women by their accomplishments or their goals or how much money they make. That's just men. Women is just like they're hypergamous by nature, which is why like I guess it didn't bother me that much. I don't agree, but it just at the same time didn't bother me that much. And I don't think dudes should get bothered that she wants someone that, is he owns the bus. Though I agree with Iyanla Van Sant. It's just like it shouldn't be about the money, it should be about the integrity. Because I've had this conversation with people, uh, you know, they used this one girl and God bless her soul, she's like very pretty girl. She was like, I want someone equally yoked. But when she was talking about equally yoked, she meant money wise. And I was basically like, yo, just because you are equally yoked, uh, does being equally yoked doesn't have to deal with money. And that was my whole spiel about it because a lot of people when they think of being equally yoked, they like to put money in it, and you can't be and I at least in my opinion you can't be equally yoked with money. With that also being said, that like just because a nigga make more money does not mean he has the same morals as you. And I feel like a lot of people when you can't put that's why I say you really can't say you're equally yoked and then talk about someone's money. That's like two different things. Is like what I feel like if you're going to say like you want to be equally yoked with somebody, it has to do with morals, your values, and everything in between. So it's one of those things where it's just like that's where you should be equally yoked at. Now with Ebony K. Williams, all right, I could tell she's probably being hypergamous by nature. I just realized she dated a white. She was dated and engaged to a white man. So like, and I guess that didn't work out either, which is cool because she is a pretty woman. So she. I know she was bragging about it. I know I tried them all and all that other stuff. Like she probably tried ballers. She probably tried the preppy white boys and all that stuff. Basically, none of her. You can see that none of her relationships really worked that well. So, but I also think that a woman that she make her own money, and I think Tesla Vazzaro is like she can't get someone that her own status. It's just like she can, but and I'm not gonna lie to you, like she's 40. I feel like Kevin Samuels was talking about this. She is 40. She's been engaged but never married, and a whole bunch of other stuff that do you think someone with millionaire status is going to be looking for her, whether she's dating black men or not? Do you really think people in that 1% is going to be looking for someone like Ebony K. Williams? No. Now, if you believe in traditional roles, just ignore this whole part. But if you like one of those people that don't believe in gender roles and traditional roles, and you are a woman, in my personal opinion, if you make this much money, you know you're going to be the breadwinner, whether you like it or not, or whether you want to be one or not. You got to understand that you are going to be the breadwinner. You going to have to probably pay the majority of the bills. Now, with that being said, I'm not telling you to date a bum because anytime when people get to stuff like this, or when we tell people like, yeah, you might have to, you know, get date an average man or make someone who makes an average salary. Everybody thinks you dating a bum. So this is why I kind of asked, what is y'all consider broke? Because an average man making 40K a year, and he's just like living well off on himself, is he really broke, or is it just? I mean, obviously he's living paycheck to paycheck, but could you really call him broke? But even if he's living paycheck to paycheck and he's not struggling, maybe he's not making. Is he making Ebony K. Williams money? Obviously not, but he's not struggling either. It's like, would you give that person a chance? And a lot of people say no, which is that Kevin Samuels and a lot of people done expose a lot of average women do not want average because they don't think they average. A lot of men, and here's the thing where I feel like we butt heads because a lot of men we're cool with being average. It doesn't hurt us to say, hey, I'm just an average guy. We know where we are in how can I say? I want to say circle of life. We know where we are in circle of life. I'm an average dude that make average money. So it's just and that's about it. It's just like we don't think we're more than anything. But these women, all of them, they bad bitches, they bosses, and all that other stuff. And usually, and this kind of like applies to like the Chris Rock joke that like men we could live in a cardboard box and be comfortable. It's always the woman that makes you want probably make you want to want more, which is usually true. A lot of men though, men is like, yo, you should have your own motivations, and which is also true, but it's usually the women that kind of makes you want to push more. It is just like, man, I would like to live in a bigger house than this. The man busts his ass off to get the house for the woman. Sometimes, and I know a lot of people say you shouldn't be doing stuff for women, but I think this is human nature. We do it anyway. There's things we're gonna do for women, which is one of the things, in my opinion, is make excessive amount of money just for women to live comfortable. But for us to do that, we gotta work our ass off like damn near 40, 60 hour week, 40, 60 hour weeks, and sometimes you're away from your spouse from that whole time, and a lot of people, which is like we tell women like usually someone who makes that much it's not home. It's not, it's not the type that's going to be at home all the time. He's going to be busting his ass because if he's making that much money and like he's going to be working, especially entrepreneurs, because a lot of people like the term entrepreneurs and some people don't understand, and think it's women. I'm sorry, ladies. Like I said, this is not to bash y'all, but a lot of y'all don't realize that, for him to make that much money, he do it, which is why think a lot of women like them scammers and the drug dealers and all that stuff because them the only people that that make that much money and have time. Because a lot of women they want money and time, and it's just like you gotta have either or. You gotta have money. If he has money, men we're just like this. If a nigga has money, that means he's not gonna have time. If a nigga has time, that means he's not gonna have money. And a lot of women, logically that makes sense, but for a lot of women, they don't work on logic, which is another thing that's killer. It's like if obviously women don't work on logic, they work on emotion. So it's just like, what do you get? And then plus, anybody will tell you, anybody that makes that much money is more or less likely to cheat on you. It's like, we done. It's like things that men done said, and it's true that even like men done have done. It's just like I made all this money and all this other value, and then this is another thing. I feel like someone like in Eboni K. Williams' status, like even though obviously she worked for her job because being an attorney is not easy. Obviously, being an attorney is not easy, and I don't want to disregard her accolades of being an attorney. But she is also a very gorgeous woman. You know that you done had your value. You could have had any, like, especially in your prime, you could have had anybody that, eating out the palm of your hands. Probably like the guy you was engaged to. You probably had him eating out the palm of your hands. Especially when you was younger. Men, we usually gain, especially around the age of 35, this is where we start gaining our values. Which is another thing we say to women. It seems like women don't understand this shit, but um, so it's a lot to me. It's a lot of misunderstanding. And like a lot of dudes, at least from people on the podcast, you don't have a problem that she wants to date a bus driver, but we also know that she's going. It's just like, yeah, she's gonna be single and lonely forever because it's just the odds of you to finding that is like really, really, really slim. And like to me, it's just like I'm not going to tell a woman to date now because I don't usually like dating down is like settling, and I don't like using the word settling, but I always say compromise. You should compromise with what you want. Maybe he doesn't have everything you need, but if he has majority of the good things that you want in a man, you should be able to pick that up. And I know that's the thing with women. If he's like that man can be 9 out of 10. If he doesn't have that one thing to make him perfect, they don't want it. Men, we're cool. It's like if she got like 6 out of 10. For some people, hell, if she had 4 out of 10, they'll take her. But I'm gonna just say 6 out of 10. Yeah, we'll definitely wife the girl up. So and this is my last point, or at least my opinion. This last point with Eboni K. Williams, someone who's like that, who's worked, especially like I said, being a lawyer, she don't work for what she got and all that other stuff. She's not looking to build with another man. And that's the thing with a lot of women, especially a lot of women that have worked for their accomplishments. It's just like they're not really willing to build with another man, especially in their 40s. They're done building. It's just like, especially they built for themselves and all that stuff. They're really done building. And then a lot of people have this fear is like, if I build a man, he's gonna leave me for a white woman, which is it's just like the stats shows otherwise that 80, like majority of black men we marry black women, so it's like who is leaving who. But I see a lot of women have that fear. It's just like, oh no, he's gonna leave me for a white woman, so I don't want to build a nigga and he leave me. A lot of people have that paranoia. So you know I can see that someone like a Ebony K. Williams, and I'm assuming here, you can say I'm assuming here that she don't want to build with a nigga. But I always tell people it's just like you're gonna be building, like no matter what you're doing in life, you're gonna be building no matter what. It's just like whoever you're with, whether you're in a relationship or not, not everybody's going to be coming fully handled. You're going to have to build something. Even in a relationship, it takes a lot of building. It takes a lot of trust. You don't just jump into a relationship. Well, at least I don't know about people nowadays, but you don't really just jump into a relationship like that. You got to build something. Something has to be built, and whether you I know you're 40, you're 40, she may never find a husband. And this is, like I said, this is me. I like Ebony K. Williams. I know a lot of people bashing her, call her a dummy and all that stuff, even people on my panel, and they have the right to. Well, I actually like that woman, like especially since from what I've seen on the state of the culture. I really do. So, but I do think that what she was what she's looking for, she's not gonna get. That's usually what I see about that. Usually what she's asking for, she's probably not gonna get. So in conclusion, what she's looking for, she's not gonna get. But I feel like she is what a lot of modern women and a lot of people that look for and all that other stuff. It's just what they're about. And you know, again, like I said, sometimes what you're looking for, you're not gonna get. You gotta, you do have to compromise. And I know a lot of women don't like, which is why I don't use the word settle. But you do have to compromise for what you have or what you got. You like, especially like now, you're 40. You probably have frozen eggs, and you probably looking for someone to make. Just like just find someone that likes you for you at this point, and and like I said, to me that's not settling. That's definitely not settling, in my opinion. I think that's a compromise. Find someone that likes you for you, because maybe then you can build something there, and then hell, even then it's just like usually guys it's just like we wanted, and in my opinion, guys we always want to do good with that woman, so he's probably going to say, hey, "Yo, I want to, if he likes you well enough, he's going to want to do well for you." I feel like women miss that point. Like a nigga wants to do well for their woman. We don't. If we're not going to see you struggle, I don't care if you think these new men are sassy, and that's probably going to be another damn video. But a nigga want to see you do well. We're not just going to sit here and watch you just suffer alone. A real man is going to like, hey, let me take them load off your shoulders. What can I do to help? We're not just going to sit there and let you suffer. And like, I know, but I think you women, and I stand by this. You women, you're so used to doing everything by yourself that you don't really know how to ask for help, or b, see when people are giving you help, and see when people are giving you help, and then just say thank you, because you're so used to doing it by yourself, and especially how women are raised today, they're doing it by themselves, and then it's just like don't know how to ask for help. A lot of these women just, I do it myself. And I've been doing it myself for all these years. It's just like, and in the words of Steve Harvey, he's like, why would you? It's like, yeah, you could do this. That's my alarm. But yeah. There was one thing Steve Harvey did say. It was just like, yeah, you can do it all yourself. You can be independent. And he was talking to the women. But why would you? When you have someone here that can help you out, that could, um, you know, be someone to take off the load off your shoulders, it's just like, why would you? I've basically, and I've said that many a times. It's just like, yeah, you can do it by yourself, but why would you? That's why you get help. That's why you like. Because sometimes even then, like hell, even Jordan had to pass off the game-winning shot to like John Paxson and Steve Kerr because they was going to double team him. It was like when they're going to double team. When I kick it to you, be ready. And then but that's just my opinion. I feel like you know, as like I say this all the time. As someone that moderates on this show all the time, I don't usually bring my opinions out. And, I let the other people talk out, and usually they'll usually say what I'm saying anyway. So, but it's nice to get at least something off on this channel at least, especially with opinions like this. But that's just what I was thinking. Let me know what you guys think. Tune in. My name is Oskino Fly, and I'm out. Peace. And Miss Ebony K. Williams, if you just happen to start on this, hi. And, I could be your man for you, but I also am the bus driver. But if you can get me to own a whole bus driver, we can work something together. But that's just me being silly. Peace.